So, last night, as we said this morning in our little good morning short, Liz Truss has apologised. But as another sort of famous singer said, that, well, it really is just too late to apologise. And at this point, what happens? Her authority as Prime Minister, as leader of her own party, is completely and utterly shot. She tried to enforce her bizarre libertarian ideology, this exact same ideology that many in her cabinet also believe as well. This was formed a right wing coup by the faction of the Conservative Party. Let's not make this mistake. This is where this has all come to. And this goes all the way back, really, to the first coalition government with Cameron and, of course, the Lib Dems at the time. So it was Cameron and Nick Clegg. But of course, remember, the party, well, it was relying, of course, on the Lib Dems to prop them up. So this is where the ERG, as we said, time and time again, when we've explained just, how we got here. And there's, by the way, there's even more examples you could say. This goes back to, like, the fall of Margaret Thatcher or, John Major. So don't make, there are legitimate cases you can say all this current political chaos can go back to then. But yeah, what happens next? Even I don't know. Because I don't see how she stays. And in her apology speech, she said, I'll lead the Conservatives into the next election. I don't think so. I think if you were in Westminster, probably this morning, you probably heard the sound of over 100 scratching pencils quickly trying to write a letter to the 1922 committee as fast as they humanly could, because they want Truss gone. They want her out as quickly as possible. And this morning, another minister came out and said, well, if she makes another mistake, then she's gone. But I failed to see how you cannot make a bigger mistake than pretty much almost crashing the economy and sending the housing market in the UK into a complete and absolute tailspin. What bigger mistake is there to make for a prime minister? There just simply isn't one. So how she stays, I don't know. But she seems determined, and she will try and ultimately press on. But already, there is already talk of people to replace her. We talked yesterday about Penny Mordaunt potentially stepping in. There's talk of Ben Wallace, possibly, or maybe even trying to replace her and recreate that sort of right-wing super push again from either Suella Braverman or maybe even Kimmy Bednock. There are other, shall we say, crazy right-wingers who are just as ready to push that bizarre libertarian agenda as Truss was. So make no mistake, there are others waiting in the wings, and they will gladly take her place. Maybe they won't go as quick and as fast as Truss did. Ultimately, they will have learned a lesson about that. But will it have sunk in? Well, who knows? But there is one thing absolutely for sure. The Conservative Party is absolutely and utterly divided at this point. And I've been telling you for the longest time just how divided it really is. And it is not just, Brexit or the non-Brexit, but it's regulations versus non-regulations. It's the Green Tories versus those non-Green Tories. There's so many dividing lines going through this party at the moment. It's really difficult to see how you get a leader that can somehow push the party or at least steer it in one direction. And even Boris Johnson, who made promises to all these groups, was running himself out of time. Remember, the Brexiteers were starting to call Boris Johnson not a Brexiteer, that he wasn't Brexity enough. So even if let's say the scandals hadn't happened, ultimately, there would be Brexiteers probably at this moment saying, well, Boris isn't Brexiting properly. And now you see what the true Brexit was. We always said it was this crazy libertarian dream that they had to just go have all the free markets, just throw it open and just, let them run wild. And that was only the start. That was indeed only the start. And luckily, Jeremy Hunt seems to have come in and essentially completely put the kibosh on this completely and utterly. Whether that will continue, whether we will see more cabinet movements, it's possible, but we'll have to see what happens by the end of the day. But Truss making it to the end of the week, I will be very, very shocked. If we are not on our good morning walk on Saturday saying, well, Truss is gone, I will be very, very, very surprised. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and a one-off donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can, buy me coffee. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.